The man smoked his last cigarette and walked into the rehabilitation center with absolute determination. But the moment he stepped inside, his head was shaved clean. Patients here were divided into 3 levels. Newcomers had to do the dirtiest and heaviest work, and only good behavior earned them a promotion. Whenever Karl felt like giving up, he would look at his girlfriend's photo and push himself forward. Many people couldn't handle the pain and ended their lives, but Karl refused to quit. He ran like a madman every single day, but years of drug abuse had left him so weak that he'd collapse halfway through a lap, vomiting blood and blacking out. The coach told him to go home and die, but Karl was back on his feet the very next moment. Karl worked hard every day and kept training for his girlfriend and daughter. Gradually, his condition improved and he got promoted. The center's head got him a job at a swimming pool where he was allowed to swim for free. With daily practice, he learned to swim. He gave a homeless man a water bottle in exchange for an old bicycle. That's how he kept building his training, running 5 kilometers, swimming 1,000 meters, and cycling 15 kilometers every single day. To test himself, he decided to enter the Ironman triathlon, 700 meters swimming, 5 kilometers running, and 20 kilometers cycling. By the time Karl crossed the finish line, the entire staff had packed up and gone home. His past sins still had a price. His girlfriend failed to beat her addiction and ended up in the hospital. Watching her fight for her life in that hospital bed filled Karl with deep regret. A few days later, she was gone. After that loss, Karl turned his grief into fuel. He trained so relentlessly that he won multiple state-level championships, broke a European record, and received an invitation to an international event. Whenever her memory hit him, he would train like a madman just to exhaust himself. That same obsessive training eventually pushed him too far. He collapsed and ended up in the hospital. To manage the pain, doctors gave him a direct morphine injection. For any former addict, that can be fatal. The moment the injection hit, Karl's body convulsed, and he began experiencing terrifying hallucinations. When doctors told him he would never walk again, it felt like his whole world had crashed down. But then the police chief came to give him strength, and for the first time, told him his daughter's name, Nika. Hearing that name reignited a fire inside him. Driven by sheer willpower, he got back on his feet, and within no time, his fitness was fully restored. Just 1 month before the race, the organizers changed the rules and doubled the distances. Now it was 3 kilometers swimming, 160 kilometers cycling, and 30 kilometers running. On race day, an old lung injury caused him to start sinking in the deep water. The rescue team pulled him out, but he took 2 breaths and jumped back in. By the time he got out of the water, he was far behind. He gave everything on the cycling leg, overtook everyone, and moved into first place. But when the running leg began and he took off his shoes, his feet were soaked in blood. He cut the front of his shoes with a knife to reduce the friction and ran again. As night fell, Karl began fading in and out of consciousness. He snapped himself out of a dark hallucination with one hard punch. He staggered forward but fell again. Then, at the finish line, he saw his daughter smiling at him. He gathered every last bit of strength he had, got up, and crossed the finish line.